Naysar, grew up in a village, and there was a king who reigned over that time. And this was during the time of Bhagwad, so our first Tirthankar. So this is the time that Naysar, lived there, and he grew up, and he got employed by the king as one of his advisors. So he was helping the king during that time. And Naysar was one day tasked with gathering some sandalwood for the king. I think doing some work on the palace or something to be built, but to gather some sandalwood. So he was tasked with that job, and he went into the forest with a few workmen, woodcutters and so forth, and went into the forest to gather. But a bit of a backstory. So when he was young, his mother had instilled good values and culture within him, and had taught him this idea of Atiti Devoko, which I think I've said that correctly. May have got one or two of the words the wrong way around. But the essence of it is that I guess in our home is like God, or feed others before you feed yourself, was the essence of it in that sense. So that's what he had been grown up with. So he'd gone into the forest with his woodmen. They were busy, chopping down and cutting wood, and then they stopped at lunchtime to have some food. And his workmen, had started to eat the food, and Naysar said, "Actually, I'm not going to eat yet. I'm going to. I've been taught that it doesn't. Well, whatever. To offer some food first, so other people then have it." And obviously, they're in a forest, hardly anyone around, looking around in that manner. And whether by chance, whether by coincidence, or whether by karma, he sees some monks in the distance, some munis, and 3 or 4 of them, in that. And so, he goes over to them, asks, what they're doing in the forest. They say, they're heading to the next village. He goes, "Okay, that's fine, I can guide you to that. But first, come, I can see you're tired and thirsty and hungry, come join me and have some food." So he shared his food with the munis, so graciously shared his food with the monks, and fed them, and they ate and sat together and in that way, and did that. And then after that had finished, the munis asked, "Can you guide us to the next village?" And he said, "Yes, of course." So instead of saying, go left and then go right and go this way, he goes, "I'll walk with you and I'll take you part way there, and from there you'll be able to continue." So it's not just giving directions, he walked with them and guided them and took them to a particular section of the forest from which they would be easy to go to the forest. So they did that journey, and before they parted, the munis, the monks, said that, "Look, this is it, and we want to share something with you. We want to share some of the Dharma with you." And so they sat, and he said, "Look, just like you've guided us out of this forest, what we're going to share with you is what's going to guide you out of this cycle of life and death, of sadness and happiness, for permanent happiness." And they shared the concept of karma with him. They shared that to cultivate values and to strive to be a good person, and follow the path in that way. And that's what they shared with him. So they gave him the path to come out of this cycle, just as he had given them the path to come out of the forest. So they parted ways, and the monks went on their way, and they came back to his workers. They got the sandalwood together, and with what the messages in the story, the messages and the concepts that the monks had shared with him, he thought deeply about, he reflected on, he imbibed, he embraced, he lived these, and during that lifetime, he experienced Samyak Darshan. So he experienced his soul, he had the realization of his soul. So that, then put him on the path towards moksha. So this soul, during the time of Rishabhagwan, was the soul of Man Bhagwan. So this was his first seed of divinity. This was his first realization of expanding that seed and experiencing the divinity within us. That led him to have 26 more significant lives. He had many more lives, but we say 27 significant lives starting with Naysar, where spiritual growth has occurred. So we just heard about spiritual growth and spiritualism. So 27 lives of spiritual growth and development, which eventually led him to being born as Bhagwan and breaking from the cycle of life and death, experiencing the divinity within, and sharing that path with the Son. That is the story of Naysar.